Osiris.
What's going on, y'all? It's Karina Reichman, live and uncut, on a day off of Guster Tour, and I am joined here by my dear pal, Isaac Sloan, via the telephonic airwaves. Isaac, it's great to hear your voice, pal. Thanks for doing this.
I'm honored. I know that this episode was almost the episode that wasn't, but we decided to prevail, and we're talking with each other on one of your rare days off amidst a pretty crazy tour. I mean, I think this is a tour you will always remember in a lot of ways, and I don't know anything about it yet.
But you feel that. It's in the air,
I feel
right?
that. It's in the air. There's something about it.
Yeah, there's something about it, man. Well, I'll tell you, 2 shows down, 5 to go, I believe, and they have you're absolutely right. I feel like I'll never forget. I love these guys so much. We've talked about them a bunch in the past few episodes because I've been excited for this tour, but Guster, what a band, what a group of guys. Incredible to see them play every night, and incredible to warm up their crowd for them before they go on. It's a complete honor, and I'm just such a fan. My bandmate Adam on guitar is a lifelong fan, knows all the words to all the songs, and it's a delight to sing with him every night and watch, as one of his favorite bands plays right after us. Everyone on their crew is incredible. And we've done the Lincoln Theater in Raleigh, North Carolina, followed by the Norva in Norfolk, Virginia. And those were the very exact first 2 tour dates of my first tour ever when I was 17 years old. So that was just incredibly kind of salient in a lot of ways, I was just like, holy shit, like, this is sort of, like, I remember being so overexcited and so, like, just bit by the bug that never left, and I'm just like, holy shit, like, to be back here, a decade later or whatever is just like, especially the Norva, I'll tell you, the Norva in Norfolk, Virginia, it used to be a gym, I found out. Like, it's like, what did this building used to be, right? And I remember, and I'm picturing my 17-year-old self there under these circumstances and just like, and I remember losing my mind and just being like, this is the coolest venue I've ever seen. And it has a basketball court and a hot tub and a sauna and a steam room and a game room and pool and ping pong and, all this crazy ass shit. And honestly, it's just as jubilating, now than as it was then. I was picturing myself there like a decade ago, just being like, how did I not like spontaneously combust? Like, it's so overwhelmingly awesome there. They took such great care of us, as did the Lincoln Theater. Beautiful, beautiful times in both venues. And fucking A, Isaac. I mean, it's been really, I can't even believe this is how we've started the tour. And every other show on the tour is sold out. So really an honor to warm up sold out, fervent, incredibly passionate Guster crowds, who really, they're a listening crowd, they're a thoughtful crowd, they're a fun crowd, diverse in age, amongst other things. They're really cool. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Guster fans, shall we say, and a fan of the band as well. So it's been off to a great start, Isaac. And tomorrow we are at the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island, a venue you and I have frequented as kids. We would, take the train out there from Manhattan, and we've seen a lot of crazy shows there. And I haven't been in years and years and years, so it'll be very interesting to be there and to play a sold-out show in Long Island. And it's actually extra crazy because Adam November, my guitar player, his parents are coming, and Chris, my drummer, his parents and sister and 90-year-old grandparents are coming to the show. So, which is just like, they've never really seen Chris play, let alone to a sold-out crowd, 10 minutes from their house, and it's just already like, these aren't my parents, but I'm overwhelmed for the boys. Like, it's just really cool. So really looking forward to that. And shout out Adam Shapiro and Lauren Baker, our very excellent 2 good friends who are also coming to the show tomorrow. So really, it's a family affair out there, and I'm feeling the love and have had just great reactions. And I'm very, very stoked to be doing this with my one set daddies, which is what we're calling the Gentlemen in Guster, because they only play 1 set, as opposed to all the other bands I opened for who played 2 sets. So that's been great. It's been great, man. What the fuck?
Well, I am just wildly enthused about it as well, and congrats to you and to the One Set Daddies and Guster. It's just sounds like it's off to a really great start, and yeah, tomorrow should be a special one at the Paramount.
Feels that way. Thanks, Isaac. Really looking forward to it. So it's great, and I'm so glad we could actually make time in the middle of. I definitely drove for I mean somebody else drove. I was driven, for 7.5 hours today from Virginia. So it's pretty insane that we get to connect, and I'm so glad we are because there's actually some really fun news popping off, including. I mean, I don't even know where you want to start, Isaac. Where do you want to start?
Well, we have to. It's just been on my mind, coming kind of in and out of my conscious awareness since I heard the news of this, and I suspect you have a lot to say. Power trip.
Boom. So much to say. So much to say. So much to say. So much to say. Yes, no, Isaac, it's absolutely crazy. Talk about, 3 days after my own heart. For those who don't know, this takes place in Indio, California, where Coachella is held, and it features it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, October 6th, 7th, and 8th. Friday night is Guns N' Roses and Iron Maiden. I'm picturing Isaac there, giddy as a school child. Next night is AC/DC and Ozzy Osbourne, and Sunday night is Metallica and Tool. I'm picturing myself at that, giddy as a school child. I mean, this is. A few years ago there was Old Cella, right? Which was like every seminal classic rock band in terms of like The Who and Neil Young and who even played that? Everybody. You can't even miss one, right? The Eagles and
No,
probably.
Not the Eagles.
Okay, cool. That's the only one that didn't play.
Yeah, no, that was a very cool festival, and this is, obviously a Desert Trip. This is Power Trip. It's very much playing on that. I think it's funny that we're giddy as a school child on the nights that AC/DC is not playing.
I know, because of course, are you kidding? Like if we find ourselves there and we're at the AC/DC and Aussie night, we are going to be absolutely giddy as school children. I mean, the whole thing.
Well, I say that particularly
ridiculous.
Because Angus Young dresses as a school child on stage.
Oh, got it. Yeah, totally.
But yes, I would love to see that. I had a great time with you at AC/DC at the Giant Stadium a few years ago.
I'm just picturing that, forget Angus. I'm thinking about us just raging to Angus, at a football field. That was so excellent. I mean, this is wild, Isaac. I feel like, maybe it's just my heavy metal blinders on. For those who don't know, I'm a big fan of all this music, and this and more, basically. But I'm a big thrash metal junkie and just a classic hard rock fan from day one, basically. But I think I think more people than you think are gonna go to this. That's my theory. I might have the goggles on.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
This is gonna be well attended, and it's gonna be. I think it's a special thing with some incredibly well. I like the fact that it's 2 enormous bands per night. Do you know what I mean?
It's a cool setup. It's a cool set. I mean, that's the way that Desert Trip was, and I definitely welcome an event like that.
Yeah, there's something kind of incredible about it. It's like, all right, we're in the desert. There's however many thousand people here, and we're here for Guns N' Roses and Iron Maiden, and that's sick. And then the next night, AC/DC and Ozzy. Next night, Metallica and Tool. Boom, baby. That was our Palm Springs vacation.
Is there a world where we on the podcast each rank the bands in terms of level of excitement, or are we just kind of going with the whole thing being one awesome
I'm
event?
here for that. I'm here for that as much as we definitely big up it as one awesome event. And I'll preface my rankings as these are all. I love all of these bands in different ways and at different times in my life. They have poked at, you know what I mean? Like they've fought for number 1, number 2 slots, throughout, I would say, from 7 to 10 years old, 10 to 13, 13 to 15, 15 to 18, and so forth. I feel like a lot of these bands have sort of fought each other out in terms of which was my favorite. I would say my first favorite of all these bands was AC/DC. I remember being very excited about AC/DC as a young kid, particularly Back in Black, and Hell's Bells, and Highway to Hell, and TNT, and then later on Thunderstruck, which I still emulate in all my solos when I do the pull off.
It's very true that song has influenced your music specifically.
Thunderstruck has really done something to the inner workings of my synapses in ways that, also I will go further into this, and I will say, solo, like the Power Slave solo, the Iron Maiden stuff, same concept, a lot of pull-offs, a lot of hammer-ons, a lot of just this sort of, technique-wise, these were songs that really sort of influenced my playing at a young age that I have been unable to shake from the fabric of my musical DNA. So, AC/DC definitely was an early favorite. If I'm here talking to you, it's 2023, Karina Reichman, my power rankings in terms of what I want to listen to today, I'll go for that, right? Number one, I'm gonna give it to Metallica. I'm just gonna give it up because for me, it never ceases to amaze me how much the first 4 records have permeated. And we could talk all day about Thunderstruck and Power Slave being huge influences on my playing, but the real huge influence on my playing is Cliff Burton in every way, shape, or form, specifically a video of him playing Anesthesia, pulling teeth, the bass solo, if you will, it must have been 1983 or 4, so early, and it just, basically completely reshaped the way that I played bass, and I do a lot of fuzz bass, and I think of Cliff every time, and just, I just think their songs are superior to just about any other metal band in most ways, So Metallica goes first. Next is Tool, which I sort of gravitated towards more later in life. Not later, but I had a big sort of Tool phase in high school, but it's only grown since then, and that's just, they're one of the most exciting live bands in my eyes, and I just think, that's number 2 for me in a big way. Then I'm gonna give it to Iron Maiden right after that. And I don't need to go through an explanation for all of them. I'm going to go Metallica, Tool, Iron Maiden. God, it's kind of a toss-up between Guns N' Roses and AC/DC for me at that slot, I'm going to give it to Guns N' Roses and then go AC/DC and then Ozzy. And I only say that I respect the Prince of Darkness more than anybody. He recently announced his retirement, so this is obviously, he's going back on that, shall we say. But I only say that because I spent many, many years in high school kind of following Ozzy around. I saw many, many Ozzy shows, many Sabbath shows,
You went to a meet and greet, right? Like Borders books.
I waited for hours to meet Ozzy at Borders. Yeah, absolutely. I have, literally brought my Blizzard of Oz vinyl to be signed by Ozzy, which is framed and hanging in my childhood bedroom, and I just feel like I oversaturated that one, and I feel like the gifts that Ozzy has given to this world will never, I am such a huge fan, but I feel like I've done my time seeing him live, and maybe the greatest days are over if I say that with nothing but respect, but it's just not on the top of my list in terms of what I want to see tomorrow. You know what I mean? And nothing but respect. So those are my power rankings of the power trip, Isaac. What do you got?
Well, Karina, it's somewhat similar, I must say. I put Tool at number 1. I think any night you can go see Tool is a special night. They are an unbelievable live act. And, it's kind of cool to see them leaning into the classic heavy metal side of things. I mean, they're a band that bridges a lot of different genres and have certainly taken a lot of newer acts on the road with them. And so it's very special to me to see them on this lineup for a lot of different reasons.
Amen.
Then Iron Maiden, they were really my number 1 for a very long time, and still are, a beacon for me in a lot of ways in terms of creativity and prowess and imaginative, theatrical, powerful music. I think They continue to make interesting albums. I try to see them anytime they're around, and I just love that they're there with Guns N' Roses on that Friday. That being said, AC/DC, they don't come around too often. I've seen many a Guns N' Roses show. Actually, if you ask me, what was your favorite concert you've ever seen, which sometimes I get asked this question, sometimes I will go with Guns N' Roses at the Meadowlands because they are unbelievable live. So, like you said, it's a toss-up. I might give the edge to AC/DC considering the kind of infrequent touring that they do, but it's really quite a tie between the two of those. I'm not the Metallica fan that you are. Not to say that I don't respect Metallica, and I would be very excited to see them in this context, but Metallica and Ozzy are right there in that tier. I mean, again, this is a festival with a lot offering.
A plethora of riches, if you will. Totally. Unbelievable. Well, that concludes the power rankings of Power Trip. I like that game, Isaac. That was good. That was fresh. I look forward to seeing leading up to this event. I think it's just going to be interesting. I don't know, are they going to add bands? Somebody going to open? Like, what the fuck? Is it just going to be like, welcome to the festival grounds. Here is AC/DC. That's incredible. I think it probably will be like that. But anyway, I digress. Very cool shit. On the complete other side of the spectrum, if you will, we have one of our favorite bands that you had the pleasure of seeing twice. I had the pleasure of seeing once without opening for them. Last weekend at the Capitol Theater, we're talking about the Disco Biscuits. They have just released some summer tour dates, Isaac. Let's expand upon this. This is some interesting stuff. Most
Karina,
notably, yes, please.
If it's not one thing, it's the Disco Biscuits.
That's what I'm saying. I know. We just can't stop talking about the Disco Biscuits. And, I'm not mad about it. I think it's great. It's unbelievable. And I think, these two shows at Mulcahy's in Wantagh, New York, this is Long Island, people. I know you have a lot of thoughts on the matter, Isaac. What the ever-loving fuck is going on with this?
We love this. We love this. This, brings the Disco Biscuits back to their bar band. I mean, obviously, this is a room that's bigger than just a bar. It's, 1,500 people. But it's a smaller room on Long Island, right off the Wantagh LIRR stop. And, they're positioned to just do something really, really awesome in a little bit more of an intimate setting. It's not a theater. It's not an outdoor stage, as, many bands are poised to play in the summer. I think that they are going to lay down something very, very cool in this smaller space on Long Island this summer in June 16th and 17th.
Pretty amazing stuff. I really look forward. I hope I can be there. But, man, we got that. We got the Count Basie Center in Red Bank, New Jersey. You've been there, Isaac, right? Or am I tripping?
I have been there. What have I seen there? I saw the Tedeschi Trucks Band there, and I saw King Crimson there.
That's fun. I have never had the pleasure, but I can picture this being phenomenal.
Yes.
This is great.
It's definitely theater in the middle of New Jersey, which I love. I mean, I think I've spoken a lot on the podcast about venturing outside of your typical venues, outside of the boundaries of your city or state, and going to see one of your favorite bands. So looking forward to that one as well.
Super cool. We have Isle of Palm, South Carolina, which I believe, and I hope nobody roasts me for this, but I believe is basically Charleston, at the Windjammer, which is very, very cool. We have the good old Lincoln Theater in Raleigh, North Carolina, where I played 2 days ago. Fantastic. The National in Richmond, Virginia, and they had a great show there last year, which I've been listening to quite a bit. Several shows, right? 2? 1, 2? Don't know. I've been listening to one of them, certainly. I wonder if it's the only one they did. But anyway, I digress.
3, actually.
Then we had 3. Holy fucking shit, dude. Well, I really got to diversify the one I've been listening to. And then we have Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and Wilmington, Delaware. I mean, it's going to be a great 10 days in June for the Disco Biscuits. That's all I'm saying. I think that's great. What a fun summer 2023 tour. Chock full of surprises for the fans.
Totally, and the band's doing great. I mean, we caught up with them at the Cap in Portchester last weekend, they've just been playing so consistently. They are streaming their Colorado run 2 nights at the Belly Up in Aspen last night and tonight, and then 2 nights at the Mission Ballroom in Denver proper this weekend. Those shows are streaming live on, say it with me now, nugs.net.
Hey.
It really does feel like a lot of bands are doing the webcast thing, whether it be an exclusive thing for Nugs subscribers or a paid stream or a free stream on YouTube. It's definitely, coming out of lockdown, a lot of, at-home media that you can enjoy. And it's an interesting way to take in a show.
Certainly. And it's just another offering, another way, a point of entry for fans, a way to kind of be there with your fans. I think it's really, really cool. Enter, the homestead, man. Enter the homestead. That's awesome.
I saw that the band The War on Drugs are playing a show at the Stone Pony Summer Stage on August 18th with Shaky Graves, Lucius, and Steve Gunn. And I'd like to think that that's a version of Power Trip for a certain kind of music fan.
That's true. That's definitely true. I think that's great. Did you say that was at the Stone Pony Summer Stage?
Yeah.
That's very cool. I'm a fan. This is great. This is great news.
It's interesting to see which bands go out in the summer specifically and which bands choose to do kinds of one-off things like that. I don't know. The summer is a whole kind of musical landscape of its own.
It just opens up basically all the venues that, bands can play in the winter when it's cold. It just completely opens everything up because there's twice as many rooms that you could play if you're the kind of band that likes to play or can play the summer amphitheaters, outdoor stages, etc., etc. It's very interesting. You make a very excellent point. It's interesting to see where people choose to play, and I think some things are better suited to that sort of outdoor, summer loving, freewheeling, fucking sick vibe. And other things are best served in a theater, and other things are best served in a club, really it's an interesting thing.
Totally.
So
No,
I agree with you.
Yeah, and some bands actually try to kind of escape the riffraff of all of that and play some festival dates, a couple of weekends here and there, but really sort of save a larger tour for the fall, and that's kind of cool too. That whole sort of just different dynamic.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a really beautiful thing. I feel like New York City is on absolute crack now that there has been just a glimmer of warmer weather and, flowers blooming, trees getting their leaves back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, wow, people are so good to go. And I don't even know if I'm ready for the energy that the, spring/summer is about to usher in, except I take that back. I'm extremely ready for it. It's pretty awesome. So if it's like that in our town, I wonder what it's like in your town, man. Where are you listening from? What's going on? This is, it's an exciting time of year, Isaac. I think this is really great. And, man, I'd like to, I told RJB, the man in question, the gentleman who puts us on here at Osiris, that there wasn't going to be an episode this week because I was traveling too much. It's all me. It's my fault. Not Isaac's fault. It's my fault. I'm out there, strung out on a limb, touring in a Jeep Wrangler with 4 gentlemen and a bunch of equipment. It's out of control out there, and it's just like day by day, if you never realize how crazy it's going to be until you're doing it. And then you're like, holy shit. But RJ, you're not going to even believe it when we email you the show file.
It's kind of the lost episode in a lot of ways.
It's the lost episode. I really like that. I feel like it affords you, sort of freedoms and thoughts that perhaps you wouldn't have had if it was just a given episode. So this is very exciting, Isaac. This is very exciting. Is there anything else we need to touch on before we ask RJ to take us out to dinner and thank him profusely? And
I think we can take us home like that, yeah.
I like it. Well, RJ, it's been real. I hope you love this episode. The episode that is and could have not been, which sounds like the lyrics of a Metallica song. Isaac's favorite. And we look forward to going out to dinner.
I feel so kind of ostracized for not being as big of a Metallica fan as I feel like I should be.
Oh, it's okay, though. It's like, it's Apple, it's not for everybody, man. I feel like you are in plenty great company of people who are sort of neither here nor there on the band. And I know you're not neither here nor there. You just don't like him as much as Iron Maiden. I totally get that, which makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I feel like you should be secure in your stance, or we can absolutely sit in a dark room and I could take you through the first dark album, first 4 albums, and, talk about what we like and don't like about them. That'll be great. But either way, RJ, the 3 of us can do that in Philly when you take us out to dinner, for being your dear pals, purveyors of podcast gold. Thank you for everything. Thank you for putting us on. We love this forgotten episode that almost wasn't. And to our listeners, thanks, man. And thanks for having patience with your girl me, for being, I've been on the road so much this year. And it's amazing that we can make this happen when we do. And I appreciate your listenership so much, and it's so great to meet you on the road, and you tell me you listen every week. I can't even believe that. So thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your listenership. We applaud you. We adore you. Isaac, anything you need to say to let these people know that we're tying a bow on this thing and it's over?
Peace, no static.
Boom. Nothing but the truth. Later, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I've been jumping turnstiles, hailing taxis with intent. Do you need directions? I bet it's not where you...
Osiris.